I actually made that decision before I had any hormones, I think. But so yes, when I started dating, and especially when I started dating Nick, it was definitely hard because when you're in love, you want to share everything with that person. But yeah, I think that what's the best thing about making that commitment is the challenge and proving to yourself that you can do it, and proving to your love that it's something it's that special that you can hold on to.
For Jessica Simpson, 2001 began with a further flurry of award nominations. These included American music's favourite pop rock new artist and Blockbuster Entertainment's favourite female new artist. But the last thing that Jessica was about to do was rest on her laurels. Indeed, she had already spent much of the year 2000 in the studio recording her second album, the follow-up to the multi-million-selling Sweet Kisses. And in May 2001, she was back in the public eye with her brand new single, Irresistible, and an album of the same name following in the next month. Jessica admitted that she had done a lot of growing up between albums, and that the intervening period had been a time of great spiritual and emotional discovery. She'd also gained in confidence and claimed to have got more in touch with where she wanted to be as an artist, saying that I wanted to show that with inner strength and inner light, nothing is impossible. More prosaically, the album saw her struggling to establish a unique identity among a wave of outwardly similar young blonde female singers. She claimed that she was still a girl when she made Sweet Kisses, but at 21, Irresistible was the work of a young woman. However, looking at the album's sleeve shot of Jessica clad in a tight-fitting see-through blouse, it's hard not to see a singer being coerced into competing with Britney and Christina on their own terms. Musically, Irresistible is more upbeat than its predecessor, interspersing Jessica's trademark ballads with hip-hop and R&B flavoured dance tracks. The catchy, percussive shuffle of the title track is typical, as are its lyrics, which suggest that Jessica is finding it hard to keep her famous virginity intact. I know that I'm supposed to make him wait, she sings, but I can't stop fanning the fire. I know I meant to say no, but he's irresistible. Later she adds, don't you think I'm trying to tell my heart what's right, that I should really say goodnight, but I can't help myself. The Spanish-influenced Forever in Your Eyes, co-written by Nick Lachey, also seemed to recommend giving in to temptation, with lines like, "This attraction fuels a passion that's just too strong for us to fight." Both these songs were singled out by Christian music magazine Plugged In, which had previously been a great supporter of Jessica's, as symptomatic of what it considered the singer's fall from grace on this album. Considering that this young lady has garnered a loyal following based on her personal claims of chastity, they wrote, the imminent sexual compromise on Irresistible is disturbing. Yet the album contained much to recommend it, including the passionate, powerful duet with Mark Anthony, There You Were, and the classic ballad For Your Love. The second single, A Little Bit, found Jessica boldly declaring her needs while stating that she refused to be taken for granted, demanding a little less talk, a little more do, a little less me, a little more you. This attitude and energy spilled over into the raw hip-hop flavoured Hot Like Fire, which divided listeners into those who loved it and those who hated it. It was certainly the album's boldest departure. Produced by J-Lo's Corey Rooney, it experimented with cutting-edge experimental dance sounds in a manner reminiscent of Destiny's Child, with Jessica for once letting her decorum slip and singing angrily like a woman spurned. Elsewhere to Fall in Love Again was another Nick Lachey co-write, this time in collaboration with Celine Dion writer Walter Afanasieff, which built from a slow ballad into a sultry R&B jam. Orchestral ballads like When You Told Me You Loved Me rub up against Britney-esque dance tunes such as What's It Gonna Be, and the album climaxes with what most reviewers considered its standout track, Jessica's reworking of the old gospel standard His Eye is on the Sparrow. Ever since I was a young girl, singing has always been an act of worship, Jessica wrote on the album's liner notes, and her commitment to God is obvious in her passionate rendering of this song, which builds to a stunning climax of emotion, more heartfelt than anything else on the record. Despite the album's undeniable strengths, Irresistible never sold as many copies as Sweet Kisses. Although both the singles from it went top 10, it failed to yield a smash hit to compare with I Wanna Love You Forever, and was deemed a comparative failure by record company and press alike. While this is hardly fair for an album that easily shifted thousands of copies, it's true that Jessica seemed to be sending out mixed signals to her fans, who couldn't decide whether she was a serious diva-in-waiting or the Britney Spears your mum says it's okay to like. With her sincere religious beliefs being seen as little more than a tacky gimmick in the cynical world of pop marketing, and her sexy image being damned as hypocritical by the moral arbiters, her career seemed to have been temporarily stalled. Far from finding her direction as she had claimed, Jessica Simpson seemed to be floundering and in need of guidance.
Gosh, you know what? I haven't bought an album in probably a year. Isn't that bad? I love Maroon 5. They're like my favorite right now because they're good guys and they're just very musical. And I love Norah Jones and Coldplay. Those are probably like the 3 albums that I would listen to back right now.
Jessica Simpson entered 2002 as an artist unsure of where she was going or what it was she was trying to do. Her identity was anything but clear-cut, with her musical style vacillating between Britney-esque dance pop and power ballads in the Mariah Carey mould, along with experimental attempts at everything from gospel workouts to R&B and hip-hop funk in a Destiny's Child mould. Her image too seemed confused. On the one hand, she was famous for her religious beliefs and her commitment to remaining a virgin, but on the other she presented a sexually provocative look, as strong and flirtatious as any of her boy-toy peers. The result was that Jessica seemed increasingly to be falling between 2 stools, and her record sales were dropping as Britney and Christina consolidated their respective positions and raced away with the prizes, leaving Jessica looking perilously like an also-ran. Initially, her response seemed to be to move further in the dance floor-orientated direction that Irresistible had hinted at. A mini-album of club-friendly remixes of her hits so far, conveniently titled This Is the Remix, was released in July of 2002 to modest success. Her breakthrough number 1, I Wanna Love You Forever, was overhauled twice by the Soul Solution team, first as a radio edit and second as an extended club vocal version. Peter Rauhofer and Lenny B both delivered club mixes of I Think I'm in Love With You, while a So So Def remix of Irresistible, courtesy of Jermaine Dupri, featured preteen rapper and Snoop Doggy Dogg protege Lil Bow Wow Wow. There was also a Hex Helor club remix of the same track, and the album concluded with the Chris the Geek and the Guido club mix of A Little Bit. This Is the Remix could hardly be expected to compare with Jessica's proper albums in terms of sales, particularly as it featured only 4 songs over 7 tracks, and these were only different versions of previously available numbers. Indeed, most of the remixes themselves had been previously available as extra tracks on the singles. The album then was intended only for a selective audience, either for completist fans who wanted to have everything that Jessica released, or for DJs who wanted versions of the song suitable for playing to nightclub dance floors or on specialist radio stations. It also served as an attempt to reposition Jessica in an increasingly competitive market, reinventing her as a dance floor diva, perhaps in the vein of Mary J. Blige or Jennifer Lopez. In retrospect, this seems like a mistake, as Jessica's strengths were most obvious in old-fashioned love songs, ballads and the gospel numbers of her Baptist background. However, she could certainly make a decent stab at dance floor pop, even if it seemed like something of a waste of her true talents, and even if everyone could see that really her heart wasn't in it. Somewhat more successful in attempting to broaden Jessica's appeal were her forays into acting. She auditioned for the 2000 movie Coyote Ugly and landed the lead role as aspiring songwriter Violet Sanford, who takes a job in a sexy all-girl bar but eventually had to turn it down as the director refused to cut her character's sex scene from the script. Jessica felt that if she was open and proud about being a virgin, it would be hypocritical of her to simulate graphic sex in a film. It was not prudishness, but rather a sense of responsibility that she felt towards her fans that caused her to eventually turn down the part. In September 2002, however, she made a more successful acting appearance as a guest star in the successful Fox TV series, That 70s Show. In Going to California, the opening episode of the show's 5th season, she borrowed heavily from her real-life image to play Annette, the airhead Californian girlfriend of the show's sweet but dumb Michael Kelso, who's up for anything except having sex. The part was so successful that she revisited it in 2 further episodes. And in 2002, Jessica also made the Dream Chaser DVD, a documentary following her rise to stardom from her gospel roots and earliest auditions to the top of the charts. The film included live and behind-the-scenes footage from her Dream Chaser World Tour, as well as showing the making of her 2 albums and her promo videos, all of which were included in the package. Jessica wasn't the greatest actress in the world, but she did have an undeniable presence on the screen as in real life. She would light up any room that she walked into, and the same quality seemed to cause the camera to fall in love with her as well. Alluringly photogenic, the audience found that it couldn't keep its eyes off her in any scene she appeared in. It was this captivating screen quality that would prove the key to the next stage of her career.
Biggest surprise, I think just the fame is a surprise at this point, just because, I mean, I had fame before Newlyweds, but after Newlyweds, it's like gone to a completely different level. And so I'm always, like at the in-store the other day, I mean, I was just like completely taken back that there were actually 8,000 people there and I wasn't even singing. Like, that's just, I'm not used to that. So I think what I've been surprised about the most is just fans and how much they support somebody that they really believe in.
Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey had first met in 1999, when Jessica had first signed to Sony and had gone on tour as the support act to Nick's then band 98 Degrees. They had become friends, then had started dating, then had quickly fallen in love. But the path of their relationship had not been easy. Both had demanding careers to think of. Careers that often took them off on the road or recording in different cities for months at a time. As with anyone in the entertainment business, it was extremely difficult for them to be in the same place together, in private, for any length of time. Both of them were working extremely hard, and there were many moments when their personal relationship was forced to take a back seat. The nature of the business, in fact, made their relationship so difficult that they actually broke up for a time in 2001. Basically, I needed to try out some new boyfriends, Jessica later said, but it was a horrible experience that made me realise that there was only ever one man in the world for me. Nick completes me. Nicholas Scott Lachey was born in Harlan, Kentucky on the 9th of November 1973. His country roots were one thing that he had in common with Jessica, something that kept them both grounded in the face of the pressures of fame. He first began harmonising with his brother Drew when they both attended the Cincinnati School of the Creative and Performing Arts, but went on to study sports medicine at Miami University in Ohio. It wasn't until he was invited to audition for a new boy band being put together in Los Angeles by his old school friend Jeff Timmons that Nick began taking the idea of a career in music seriously. 98 Degrees were part of the new wave of late 90s boy bands, alongside the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, that drew on black urban music styles such as R&B and hip-hop to inform their vocal harmonising and synchronised dance routines. Nick officially sang second tenor in the group, but was soon recognised as their charming frontman. Jeff and Nick were joined by Nick's brother Drew and their friend Justin Jeffra, and released 4 platinum-selling albums which included hit singles such as My Everything, Way You Want Me To, and Give Me Just One Night. By the middle of 2002, however, it was apparent that 98 Degrees had peaked and were beginning to wane. Nick began to give serious thought to his future and what he really wanted from life. 7 years older than Jessica, he decided it was time to really commit to their relationship. At the same time, he announced he was leaving 98 Degrees to concentrate on a solo career. Nick finally proposed to Jessica on a yacht off the coast of Hawaii. She accepted instantly, and the two began making plans for their marriage, along with top wedding planner Mindy Weiss. Nick and Jessica's wedding was a glittering and glorious affair, which was filmed for later DVD release. Everything was meticulously planned, and nothing was left to chance, as Jessica revealed in her self-penned book, I Do, Achieving Your Dream Wedding, published by Inner Workings Books in August 2003. This self-help guide, put together with Katrina Z. Jones, was packed with helpful tips on organising a wedding just as spectacular and fulfilling as Nick and Jessica's, whatever your budget. There were chapters on hair, makeup and clothes, alongside many photos and descriptions of Nick and Jessica's wedding day itself, as well as the many rehearsals. The couple were married on October 26, 2002, at the Riverbend Baptist Church in Austin, Texas. The wedding was presided over by an old friend of Jessica's family, and the ceremony was witnessed by 350 guests. Jessica wore a strapless Vera Wang dress with a long train, while Nick wore a Hugo Boss tuxedo. The reception was held at the Baton Creek Resort, a popular golf and tennis retreat southwest of Austin. There, Nick sang his hit single My Everything, which he had written for Jessica soon after they first met, and Jessica had a friend sing a song that she had written for Nick called My Love. Jessica confessed that her wedding was the most amazing day of her life, and it was made all the more special because she had waited. The wedding night was worth it. Jessica Simpson was finally a woman.
Normally I have like 500 people show up, and then 8,000 people were at my in-store in Boston. And I think it was because Walmart promoted it so much. Like, they had my posters everywhere, and thousands of people go into Walmart a day. So it's a little different than doing it at Tower Records. Like, a SWAT team came in, and it was crazy because I've never been that scared, but I was also so excited.
Jessica's third album, In This Skin, was released in August 2003. With this album, the newly married Jessica Simpson was finally in control of both her life and her creative output for the first time. I've wanted artistic control for a long time, she said, but in the past I wasn't able to get it. In This Skin marked her debut as a songwriter and her first as a married, sexually experienced woman. She had many things that she wanted to write about, though obviously the most prominent theme on the album is her love for her husband. Jessica claimed that she wanted to write songs that were uplifting and real, and that came straight from her heart and soul. It's about love and confidence, she said, and loving where I am in my life. The album's opening track and first single was the unabashedly carnal Sweet as Sin, actually written for Jessica by Diane Warren, one of the most successful songwriters of the last 20 years. You'll definitely know I'm a woman after hearing this song, Jessica said of this celebration of love, marriage and making love. In fact, though, Sweet as Sin seems more about the anticipation of losing one's virginity, fantasies of what it would be like, and the temptation to find out than about the real thing. Lines like "it would feel so good to be so bad" sounds like she's still abstaining, although only just. Jessica had a hand in co-writing the next track, With You, which was also a single. A love song for her husband, it is also Jessica writing about herself. The real me is a southern girl with her Levi's on and an open heart. Forbidden Fruit is about deciding whether or not to let a man make love to her. Patience, boy, and I will decide if your kiss is sweet enough. Let you come within if you swear to me that it ain't no sin. On Everyday See You, she talks about how her man lifts her up when she's down. Underneath was written when she and Nick were separated in 2001, and it's obvious from the lyrics that Jessica desperately wanted him back. Meanwhile, You Don't Have to Let Go was written for her father after her and Nick's wedding. Jessica realised how hard it was for her dad to walk her down the aisle and give her away. In his eyes, she was getting married and leaving him, and the song was written to reassure him that this was not the case. "I don't need your strength anymore because you've made me strong," she sings. "You'll always have a place and a way to my heart." The album's title track is perhaps the most revealing, however. In a tune strongly reminiscent of Christina Aguilera's Beautiful, Jessica reveals her own paranoia and insecurities while urging everyone to be proud of who they are. "They see me in a magazine. I'm the one they want to be," she sings. "Still don't feel I'm good enough, still don't feel I'm thin enough." Later she adds, "Tell me what is wrong with me. I'm the girl with everything, so why am I not strong enough?" Although the chorus insists that I'm beautiful in this skin, her doubts ultimately ring truer than her confident assertions. "I feel stronger, more alive and more refreshed after writing and recording my own thoughts," Jessica said of In This Skin. At last the public were getting to see the real Jessica, not the record company's idea of who she thought to be. This was Jessica Simpson finally coming alive and, in a very real sense, revealing all.
I've definitely thought about coming out with my clothing line, especially since Newlyweds, because I do lots of in-stores and everything, and I get people asking me, come out with a line, and I would like to do something, maybe in the future. I've been in the talks with a couple companies, and we'll see. But right now we're just focusing on the fragrance line.
When Nick and Jessica finally decided to get married, they also decided to allow MTV to shoot a fly-on-the-wall documentary covering the first few weeks of their married life together. We may wonder why they wanted to do this, but both Nick and Jessica were at a point where their singing careers were on the wane and their profiles were in need of a boost. Both of them had spent their entire adult life in the public eye and knew what to expect. The loss of privacy would not come as such a shock to them as it would most other newly married couples. Both had always been open about wanting to be famous, and it's arguable that the possibility of being ignored by the media was more frightening than the idea of opening up their private lives to public scrutiny 24 hours a day. The attention was precisely what they craved. Besides, anyone watching the show could see how much the couple remained in control, only allowing the cameras to see what they wanted them to see. Throughout, Nick and Jessica remain in character and play on their public personas in a show that is all about entertainment rather than exposure. The idea of the fly-on-the-wall documentary on the home lives of celebrities was pioneered by MTV's hugely successful show The Osbournes. This gave faded 70s rocker Ozzy Osbourne a new lease of life in a unique mixture of documentary and real-life situation comedy, focusing on Ozzy as unlikely father figure to his dysfunctional family. The idea behind Newlyweds was essentially a lighter version of the same theme, feeding on the public fascination with what the married life of two former teen pop stars would turn out to be like. It wasn't long, however, before viewers fell in love with the couple in question, and with Jessica in particular. The show's producers could never have imagined just how captivating her ditzy, dizzy persona would prove to be. Newlyweds first aired in August 2003 in a run of 10 half-hour episodes. Featuring regular appearances from members of both Jessica and Nick's families, the first season followed the couple as they moved in together, struggled with the cleaning, went camping, played golf and pursued their pop careers. 2.5 million viewers tuned into the first episode and 3 million watched the season finale, in which Jessica cooked dinner for Nick. The second season, from January 2004, proved just as popular, and a third season began airing in June of that same year, with the pair's public profile at an all-time high. From the familiar strains of Nick's theme song, This I Swear, the show attempted to capture the difficulty of balancing the couple's skyrocketing careers with the demands of their marriage, promising parties, passion, performing, love, and what quickly became referred to as Jessica moments. These quickly became the high points of the show, the seemingly throwaway lines and performances from Jessica that had everybody gasping, "Did you see?" around the water cooler at work the next day. Classic Jessica moments included her fears of hitting a duck while playing golf, her constant use of the word baby delivered in her distinctive southern drawl, and her thinking that buffalo wings came from real buffalo. There were also memorable sayings such as, "I have to go drop some kids in the pool," when she needed to visit the bathroom, and "I have bubbles in my tummy, it's just air, it's not stink." Most famously of all, she got hilariously confused by a can of chicken of the sea brand tuna, asking Nick, "Is this chicken what I have, or is this fish?" This moment has since been endlessly exploited and referred to, not least by Jessica herself. She was seen eating the product in a video and referred to it in a TV ad she did for breath mints. There is no doubt that Jessica is in full control of what she's doing and exploits her dumb blonde persona to her own ends. As her father, who's also the TV show's co-producer, said in a recent interview, the Jessica you see on screen isn't necessarily the real Jessica, but an exaggerated version of her personality that she automatically turns on for the cameras. She'd always done this, he claimed, as far back as her school days. People expected her to be dizzy and dumb because she was blonde, and she would play up to this to put people at ease. Jessica's not stupid, but she likes to have fun and to be entertaining. Underneath it all, she's smarter than you think.
You know, they've given me my career. You guys have given me my career. And I think that the coolest thing about it is that I think with my fans, they've rooted with me from the very beginning. So they feel like they're a part of the success, which is cool.
On the back of the runaway success of Newlyweds, Sony re-released Jessica's In This Skin album in a special 2-disc collector's edition. This included 3 extra tracks, an acoustic version of With You, and covers of Angels by Robbie Williams and Take My Breath Away by Berlin, both of which were released as singles. Take My Breath Away is one of Jessica's favourite songs of all time and was playing the first time that Nick ever kissed her. The bonus second disc was a DVD featuring footage of the couple's wedding and scenes from the first series of Newlyweds. In April of 2004, Nick and Jessica featured in a one-off TV special, the Nick and Jessica Variety Hour. This self-consciously kitsch 70s retro performance was a knowing tribute to such acts as Sonny and Cher and featured guests ranging from Babyface and Jewel to Kenny Rogers and Mr. T. A particular highlight was Kermit and Miss Piggy from The Muppet Show singing the Elton John and Kiki Dee duet Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Jessica's little sister Ashley was also getting in on the act, appearing as Cecilia in the TV series Seventh Heaven and launching her own singing career via a 6-part MTV documentary of her own, simply called Ashley. Ashley claimed, however, that her style was very different from her big sister's, insisting that she played punk music and that she loved to run around screaming and rocking out on her guitar. Jessica even launched her own cosmetics range in 2004, Desert Beauty, which included a controversial lineup of edible body creams. These were publicly attacked by New York sex therapist Dr. Jane Greer as encouraging adult sexual behaviour among her young and impressionable fans. However, the cosmetics proved a great success, and in March 2004 she was even invited to visit the White House. On being introduced to Interior Secretary Gail Norton, she commented, in true Jessica style, on what a good job he'd done with the decorating. So Jessica's career seems to be going from strength to strength. She's finally making the music she wants to make and is winning more new fans every day. Her TV show has made her a household name and has opened doors for her into the world of acting that she couldn't have dreamt of a few years ago. In addition, she's happily married to the love of her life. It's like a dream come true for the little girl from Texas who all those years ago lay in her bedroom and fantasised about being a pop star, a movie star and a fairy tale princess. Now she is all these things and more, and the world finally loves her for who she is. She's famous just for being Jessica Simpson.
thank you for buying Maximum Jessica Simpson. We hope you enjoyed it. Watch out for further titles on Chrome Dreams coming up soon. If you did enjoy or have any comments or suggestions, write to us at Chrome Dreams, PO Box 230, New Malden, Surrey, UK, KT36YY, or email on mail@chromedreams.co.uk. Details of our full catalogue are listed on our website www.chromedreams.co.uk. Thanks again for listening, and goodbye for now.